All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and man, we had a great card that is going to be exceptionally successful, despite what you hear from other media, from media outlets about it. And that was the David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight that, if you listen to people in the boxing world, you know everybody watched. But naysayers will claim watch it in a couple days that nobody did. The only problem is the promotion for the fight was so expansive that their predictions are going to, in reality, fall flat on their face. Now, that leads into the big fight that we have coming up in just 4 weeks between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, which numbers that have already been released point to a major success, which flies in the face of certain things that a young man, I call him young man because I'm older than him, Tim Bradley said about American boxing dying. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about real promotions for fights that will really make money because people put real money behind the fights and fans really supported the fights. There was a fight this weekend that foreshadows a fight that's going to take place, and everybody knows about the fight that's going to take place. That's between Gervonta Davis, who's the WBA 135-pound champion, against the current WBA 130-pound champion, Lamont Roach, for a fight that will take place in Brooklyn, New York, I do believe at the Barclays Center. And word on the street is that the gate for the fight is already targeted towards $14 million for a fight. Now, it's very interesting that that number is there because that is the same scale for an event that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney had in the same event, where they wound up making $4 million. And nobody's complaining about that gate. They say, hey, that's a good gate, because it is a good gate. $4 million in American boxing is a very good gate. But they targeted $14 million. They didn't make it. This one is targeted towards $14 million. So it seems as if Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach use the same pricing model as Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia had, but this one is selling with much more success. $14 million. If they make a $14 million gate, that is going to be, you're looking at something more around a $50 million fight. Now, David Benavidez fought this weekend against David Morrell in an electric fight that was preceded by another electric fight that took place between Steve Fulton Jr. and Brandon Figueroa at 126 pounds. Terrific match from start to finish. Both of them, between David Morrell and David Benavidez, likewise exciting from start to finish. In fact, Isaac Cruz was fought before that against a guy named, I do believe his name was Fierro. And man, it was another exciting fight. Though I have to say that I think Isaac Cruz came off looking like more of a limited fighter. Regardless, the thing that stood out to me, though, as it relates to Gervonta Davis and relates to boxing specifically, and I do want to bring up something before I bring that up that Tim Bradley had stated, and many people in the mainstream boxing media constantly say, which is that American boxing is dying. But yet, ahead of this fight, I, who am a subscriber to Amazon Prime, and a lot of people are, millions and millions and millions of people are, because that's how people are able to get their goods and certainly their goods delivered straight to their house. I do believe Amazon is the biggest company in the world, right? And in if I'm, please correct me if I'm wrong, something like 300 million homes. I mean, it's expansive. But if you go to their live TV option, because there's a television package that comes with it, you would see that they have a boxing channel called HBO Boxing that plays HBO Boxing 24/7. The old HBO boxing shows. And the weekend of the fight with David Benavidez, when I turned on live TV, in the runner that's above, that was the first thing that was there, was an option to buy that fight. In front of that many people who have that in their homes. That's way bigger than Showtime, way bigger than DAZN, way bigger than HBO ever was. And when you have a product that is being pushed to a bigger audience with easier distribution, your number goes up. And that's why I'm saying that the first fight that was between Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin did over 400,000 pay-per-views. Something people didn't expect because their mindset was still stuck on PBC being with a much smaller institution in Showtime, and not the fact that they're now with a much larger one. And unlike 2024, it appears 2025 that the PBC is putting on shows more often. That is a considerable amount of publicity and promotion going on for boxing on Amazon. And again, Amazon is no DAZN. DAZN is an entrepreneur. Seems like it's almost a large entrepreneurial venture that is losing boatloads of cash. And I think they said it's in 20 million homes. That is nothing compared to the size of Amazon. And in the streaming world, Amazon is going to be like the Walmart of streaming. You're able to get everything, even if you have to go to other platforms through Amazon. But because it's in everybody's home and shopping experience, it's only logical for them to sell this type of material as well, or this type of product, as well as your traditional hammers and nails and things like that, things of that sort. So anyway, you can look forward to Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach being purchased by significantly more people than it would have been if this fight was still on Showtime. If it was still on Showtime, we would expect that it would do somewhere around 300,000 pay-per-views, 250, 300,000 pay-per-views. But that is to something that, and network that at tops had 50 million people that had it. Now you're looking at something that has 6 times as much as that, at least. And a mechanism by which you can see it, and they're actually going to promote it straight to people's television sets, not just phones and funny different ways of getting it. I think you're going to be able to see something like 500,000 pay-per-views for Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. And that gate being in New York City is directly related to the fact that it is a fight that is a inter-demographic, right? Is 2 black fighters from the same general area, New York. I mean, the fight's in New York, but Gervonta Davis is from Baltimore, which is just a stone's throw away from New York City. And then you have Lamont Roach, who's from Washington, D.C., once again, a stone's throw from New York City. So people are going to be able to get on the trains, get on the highways very, very fast. They're not even going to have to take planes. Most of the people that are going to be in that event probably don't even have to take the planes. And it's a day trip for people that want to get good seats but not stay in hotels. It's a day trip. It's just a couple hours away. They can get on and get off. They can get there in the morning, and they can leave right after, go home, as long as they don't have too many things, to drink out of that bar, which will also blow up the cost, the profit of the event. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. And this is just a beautiful thing. And it's going to be so interesting to see why this is tearing down American boxing. Because you have a distribution network like this that's willing to invest in the sport, and that's what's bad for American boxing. Why? Because Tim Bradley doesn't get a specific fight that he wants, when that organization clearly stands in the way of people making fights. They're promotional organizations, and they make in-house fights all the time. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Have a great day, and thank you for your support on the channel. Peace.